If you're an agent and, like many, unfortunately, you feel like giving up, please just don't. Take a second to listen to this because I'm going to give you 5 tactical things that you can do today, easy, free, that will make a life-changing difference to get you back on track. I see so many agents that get so excited to get into real estate. This is their dream, this is their passion. And after some difficult times or a difficult year, what happens is they feel like giving up and they want to quit on themselves, even though they can make it happen. And you don't need to give up. So I'm here today to give you 5 tactical things that you can implement immediately, including the last one, which is probably the most important one. It's going to be a bit of tough love. It's likely not what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear today in order to get back on the saddle and start to build the life and business that you've dreamed of, but also the one that you deserve. So let's unpack how to get back on track. If you feel like giving up, if things are difficult, if you're contemplating if this is what you should be doing, my answer is yes, it is, but you need to understand these 5 things. Okay, so I briefly touched on the first one, but I didn't unpack it, which is what I'm going to do now. Just think back when you got your real estate license, when you were studying for the exam and you finally passed the test. I'm gonna ask you a question here and just sit for a second and think about it. When you passed your real estate exam, were you disappointed? Were you feeling kind of like, hey, I guess I'm gonna give this a try. I'm not really excited about it. I don't really care if it works out or not. I'm just gonna give it a shot. Was that your mindset when you passed your exam? Just think about that. I'm pretty sure it's a rhetorical question. The answer is no. When you passed your real estate exam, you were over the moon, you were ecstatic, you were motivated, you were ready to get after it and build the business and life that you've always dreamed of. So the first thing that you need to do in order to stay motivated during difficult times is remember why you got started. There was a reason. You wanted to change your life. You wanted to change your family's life. You wanted more time freedom to spend with your spouse or your kids, or you wanted to travel, buy that dream house, buy that dream car, whatever your goals and visions are. You had a purpose when you got started. You were fired up. You were motivated. Where did that go? But what happens is when you get into the trenches and you're just going through the motions, it's really easy to forget about that. So you need to take a step back and remember why you got started and to get that burning fire back into you. So for me at least, that was to be able to give a better life for my family. I retired my mom this last Christmas. The year before, I took my parents on their dream vacation. Being able to have more time to spend with a significant other, or travel the world, or have certain things in your life, you have a why. You have a deep-rooted purpose. My true why is I wanted to do this so that when I get married, when I have kids, I don't need to worry about financial freedom or time freedom because I've got both. So that's a pretty strong why, and something that pushed me through some of the most difficult times that I've ever been through, knowing that that's a purpose that I want to get after. So take a step back today and just remember, why did you get started? But what is your why? And when you can consciously reflect on that, and that's why vision boards are so important, so that you have a physical reminder of it constantly, that's going to allow you to get that little nudge to get back into momentum. Number 2 is one that is unorthodox, but I think about all the time and makes a big difference for me when I'm going through a difficult time or when I'm just on the struggle bus and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this? Contemplating my entire existence. I think about this. Just remember that every single day that you live, every day in existence, you're writing a new page, a new chapter in the book of you. So what I'm saying here is that your life is a novel, your life is a book. And what I want you to think about when you're struggling to get back on track is, what would somebody think if they were reading this chapter of you? What would you think if you were reading this chapter about you? And what I constantly think about myself is, what if my biggest mentor, you look at somebody like Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, any of the people that I have graciously and thankfully had the opportunity to spend time with, what would they feel if they were reading this chapter? Might be Tony Robbins for you or somebody else. But if somebody was reading your chapter today, would they be inspired? Would they be motivated? Or would they think, what is this person being in this woe is me state? I'm not reading that book. This is boring. This is somebody making excuses. This is somebody not living up to their potential. And if you can start to remember that every single day you're writing a new chapter in your book of life, and you start to think about what would happen if your kids read that chapter. That's a powerful one if you're a parent. Would that inspire your kids? Would it show your kids that anything's possible? Because that's what you tell your kids. You could be anything that you want. Anything is possible. You can achieve all of your wildest dreams. Well, mom or dad, if I'm reading this chapter right now, it doesn't look like you're achieving your wildest dreams. It doesn't look like you can do whatever you want. That's what they would be thinking. And for me, that's just a psychological trigger that says, wow, I gotta get my act together and I gotta get back on track. So that's a little bit of an unorthodox aspect that I like to apply to my own business, my own life, is just to understand one day somebody's gonna read the book of you, and it better be a good one. Number 3 is more traditional, one that you would have heard of many a times, but one that you likely need to be reminded of because so many people tend to forget, which is, who are you surrounding yourself with? The people you surround yourself, your environment, you are a product of your environment. Never forget that. Winning is 50% mental, 50% environmental. So if 50% or more is the environment that you're in, you have to audit, are the people in your life anchors or propellers? There's only 2 people in life. That's it, that's all. There's no in between. There's no hybrid of an anchor and a propeller. It is one or the other. Let me explain. An anchor is somebody that keeps you where you are today. These are the friends, unfortunately sometimes family members, unfortunately sometimes significant others, the people that tell you what you're doing is stupid. You can't make it happen. I don't like you being on camera. I don't like what you're doing. You need to pick up the pace. You're not providing for the family. Like, these are the people that keep you where you are today. The ones that do not propel you forward. Propellers are the ones that do propel you forward. These are the people that tell you, you need to dream bigger. You need to get your shit together. You need to execute better. You can do it as well. I know you can do it. You've got the potential. These are the people you need in your life, which are the ones that are propellers. And if you have anchors, audit the last 10 messages you've received from people. Look at those 10 people and just do a quick little balance check and say, how many are anchors, how many are propellers? And I can almost guarantee that if you're struggling in business right now, you've got some anchors that need to go. And unfortunately, it's not easy. It's never gonna be easy. Cutting people out or distancing yourself because you don't have to always completely cut, but creating distance is important because proximity is power. And if you keep these anchors in your life in any capacity, you are going to be stuck exactly where you are today. So start to look at, are you surrounding yourself with people? I keep a very tight, small circle for a reason. And the people that I keep in my life do a couple of things that are really important that I want you to think about. They motivate me to go further, to go harder, to go faster, to achieve my potential. But they're also the first to call me out if they see me doing something out of character. They're the first to say, did you mean to say it that way in that video? Or did you mean to approach it this way with that person? Or I know you could be doing a lot better. What's going on? Or that's not how you should be approaching a relationship. I know you. And when you've got people in your life that can call you out, but also inspire you, those are the propellers you need. So if you're struggling right now, audit your anchors and propellers. Part number 4 is just getting into momentum. And that sounds easier than it is, but there's a couple different things that you can actually do today in order to start to get into momentum. The first being, just get into momentum in any aspect of your life. Because once you build momentum in one area of your life, it starts to become like a trickle effect where you start to build momentum in all areas of life. So one of the easiest ways is your health and fitness. When you start to take better care of yourself, eat better, start to lose weight or build muscle or get in better shape or be more mobile and get more flexible, a couple things happen. It's the easiest way to start building momentum. It starts to get you in the habit of being consistent and disciplined. It also gives you more self-confidence. And this is what I find for myself at least, is that my physique is a direct correlation to how my life is going. When I'm in terrible shape, when I gain a bunch of weight, you can just look at me in my content and immediately notice that I'm going through it right now. I'm on that struggle bus and things aren't easy. But when you can get back on track and get in better shape, this is a sign that starts to get you in that productive phase. And once you come back from something that gives you that dopamine hit and makes you feel better about yourself, you're more likely to execute on the other things you need to do that day. But the second thing you could do is the power list. This is what I used to build my entire business. Once I applied this, my income 10x'd in 1 year, which is a massive figure. So what the power list is, created by Andy Frisella, is it's the 5 income producing tasks that you need to do every day. The ones that move the needle of your business. This is not laundry, groceries, and some nonsense. This is like prospecting for 1 hour or 2 hours, create content, practice your CRM, follow up with clients, something of that nature, 5 tasks. And if you could do that every day for 100 days, your business will completely change forever. All it is 5 tasks. Don't do 6, don't do 10, don't do 20, do 5. And if you could just do 5 income producing tasks every single day, you will start to feel the growth, you'll start to be proud of yourself, you'll feel the satisfaction and the dopamine hit and the gratification of ticking things off, which is why I always keep my highlighter here. I cross off my things every single day. And it's this sense of achievement that you're gonna become addicted to. And all it is as simple as taking something physical, like a notebook like I have that I keep on my desk beside me every day, 5 income producing tasks. And that's gonna get your business fired up like you wouldn't believe. Now the last one, the one that I said is gonna be a bit of tough love. I genuinely care about every single person that watches my videos. And I actually wanna see you win, which is why I do this. On Saturdays like today, when it's actually one of the nicest days it's been in a long time, I could be outside. I'm here because I care. So number 5, the tough love, is that life is just tough and you need to remember that nobody's coming to save you. And this, I'm going to unpack a couple things here that are really gonna give context to this. But where so many agents go wrong is they think that somebody's just magically gonna come wave a wand and their business is gonna get better. But the truth is if you fail here, you're gonna fail everywhere else too. If you go to mortgage, if you go to car sales, if you go to any other business, if you don't get back on track, you're going to fail at anything. You might as well just not quit and not fail at this. So knowing that life is tough, a couple things that I want to remind you of. You are exactly where you are right now for a reason, for a purpose, but also because of your own actions. So if you're not where you want to be in business right now, just understand that that's your fault. If you're struggling right now, that's your fault. You have to make it your fault, because only when you take complete ownership of your business and your life is when you can actually make a change. And so many people are playing the blame game of pointing at politics or the market or the economy or interest rates or anything else going on in life. But the truth of the matter is it's all your fault. And you're exactly where you are right now for a reason. But nobody loves anything more than a comeback story. So why don't you use this reason as motivation to get back on the saddle and get back into action? Because that goes to the second part, which is the only way to lose is if you quit. There's no losing if you don't give up. And if you're watching this video to this point, I'm pretty sure you don't want to be a loser and you don't define yourself or categorize yourself as a loser. You got into real estate to be a winner. You're watching videos like this because you've got the mindset of a winner. But the only way you become a loser is if you quit and you give up. And if you give up and you quit, you're giving up on your dreams, you're giving up on your family, you're giving up on everybody who believed in you. You need to get after this, not just for yourself, but for those people who believed in you. And if you quit, then you technically are a loser. And unfortunately, you just gave up and disappointed everybody that supported you since day one. The other thing that I want to remind you of is you can be the one. You know, Ed Mylett has a great book called The Power of One. And I've been talking about this concept long before the book was published, but it's being the one in your family that changes your family's history forever. I'm the first millionaire in my family, right? At the age of 31. I've been able to change my family's trajectory forever. I'm gonna make sure that nobody in my family ever has to deal with financial stress again. And so what I want you to think about on these difficult times, on these difficult days where you feel like giving up is you can be the one that changes your family's history forever. How powerful is that? How motivating is that? How much more inspiration do you need than for your kids, your grandkids to be able to look back and say, hey, mommy or daddy, they were the one that changed our family forever. that can be you. All that you have to do is not give up, remove your excuses, take complete ownership, get back to work, remember why you got started, and just execute on the things that you know you need to do. You don't need more tips, tricks, strategies, or tutorials. You just need to do the things you already know. And if you do them consistently and you get back into momentum, you're gonna be the one that everybody talks about for years to come. Now, the truth of the matter is that you don't achieve your goals, you achieve your habits. And if you want to know the 12 habits that you need in order to build a 7-figure per year real estate business, then check out this next video and it will walk you through everything you need to stay motivated, but more importantly, build the habits that will change your and your family's life forever.